And welcome to the Galfond Challenge. We are here for what is day number 24. That is right, the 24th session of the Galfond Challenge. Phil Galfond versus Venividi, slated to play 25,000 hands. Joined by my now good friend and colleague, great PLO player. It is Owain Carey.
So I actually went from being this non-studier to actually really promote and study, and my peers and my friends in poker, a couple of them come to mind who still don't study, but I'm like, look, you have to, because yeah, you can have the raw skills, but if somebody is putting more hours into their craft than you are, the raw skills won't get you through. So try and mix a bit of both.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, natural talent will only take you so far. And I'll use the sports analogy once again. I mean, there are so many athletes out there that just have God's gift. They are just amazingly talented in whatever sport they might be, or maybe even any sport, considering their athletic prowess. But the real greats of the game, and this is really any game out there, they are combining that natural talent with the urge to win. 5-figure pot on Two-Hearted Ale. Venividi bets pot on a deuce of diamond river.
A pretty polarizing texture here. I really got it. What happened? So this will be very much down to blockers. How Phil
raise here from Galfond. There's no fold equity, I don't think. Right now, I guess there could be 11,000 more to call.
Yeah, there's a little, but
yeah, it's getting 3.5 to 1.
Bluffing at about 15% frequency or something.
What's the worst value hand Galfond would do this with? I mean, is this 5-3 or nothing, or could this also be a set?
It was a pot-sized bet on the river from Venividi, so I would discount jacks doing this. If it's not a 3-bet pot, there's no aces, so like we are literally just talking 5-3.
And would you do this if you had, let's say aces, would you want to have at least a 5 or a 3 in your hand as well?
To turn ace-X into a bluff?
No, I was saying, let's say you had aces. There's the call. There's 5-3. And it was a set of jacks for Venividi, a huge pot for Phil Galfond.
Interesting on the river that jacks with a 5 or a 3 is perceived to be better than bare aces to make the call, okay? Because it's not about absolute hand strength, because aces and jacks in that situation, if Phil has 5-3 or bluffs, it's the same thing. Now, when you have a 5 in your hand, yes, you're blocking 5-3, but you're also blocking pocket 5s. Or something with a 5 in it, which are going to be as natural bluffs.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I mean, I in a weird way, you might want to argue I don't want to have a 5 in my hand because
I think so.
Because I really want Galfond. I really want Phil to have pocket 5s or pocket 3s in his hands.
Exactly.
Galfond takes a small pot over on Peroni. We turn our attention to Two-Hearted Ale, where we've got a big pot brewing. Pot size bet here and a raise on the turn. We have seen some monster pots today so far.
So we've got 8-3 for the 2 pair with no redraw. So yeah, it's a close spot, and I can see why he's tanked. I do think there's more than enough out there, though, that this does have to go in from Phil's perspective. And obviously, Venny has played his hand totally fine as well. One of those PLO coolers, right, Tuck? And it just, the chips settle in, and that's the way it goes.
Five-figure pot on Two-Hearted Ale right now. Queen of Spades on the turn. Pot size bet by Venny. So only got 2,300 behind. So he's not going anywhere. That much we know. All in for Galfond. It's all in again here. 43,000 in there. Set of fours against Ace King. But there's the Queen on the river. Full house for Galfond. And another monster pot for Galfond.
I mean, it goes. Yeah, he did have the redraw also to the nuts. So, like, everything that's happened there is just pretty standard. Ironically, I've said he should use a bigger sizing, but what Phil has done magically, he's managed to get Ace King to continue to that smaller sizing. That might have folded to the bigger sizing and ended up winning a 43k pot. So, props to Phil there.
Right, so he could have picked up a spade, obviously, or the board pairing. Yeah, chips go in there, and anyway you cut it here. Galfond now up 3 buy-ins. So since we've come back from the break, we have seen a lot of kind of just back and forth, not a lot of movement at these tables. Oh, another big pot brewing on Peroni. Galfond bets pot on the river. 9 of spades comes off. 9 of spades doesn't look to change anything. Queen Jack was already there. Hearts miss. Action on Venny. There's the call. And there's Queen Jack. Phil had Queen Jack plus the redraw to hearts and another monster pot for Phil Galfond. Looks like players are taking a short break. No reset here. Just a short break for whatever reason they might need. Give us a moment to take a break as well. Owain, you going to take a cigarette break?
Yeah, I'll come back in 2 minutes for sure.
Okay, so it'll just be a very short break as we watch this last hand play out on Two Hearted Ale. Once again, I want to thank you all for joining us. Egg and Chips, The Big Umbrella, ZK Poker, Man on Fire. Well, we do have a man on fire, and that name is Phil Galfond. Galfond up over 3 buy-ins already today. Just 1 hour into session 24, Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th. Galfond betting just under 4,800 euros on the turn, another 5-figure pot, and we have seen plenty of them today. There's a call, pot now 16-7. Kind of an irrelevant river. Jack, deuce, 10-5. There's the call. No, there's an all-in from Venny. It's only 1,200 more for Galfond the call. I can't imagine he folds. I mean, unless it's an absolute pure bluff. But, I mean, he's getting like 40-1. This does not bode well for Phil Galfond. Does make the call. There it is. Jacks for Venividi, top full house, a monster pot as the players go for a short break. Yeah, no, it's just frustrating. And I think especially, and some of you in the chat can probably speak on this. I know Farah can speak on this. Once you're a parent, it becomes, even more frustrating because, you don't want to be away from home that much, and you can't be. You have some, you have responsibilities, and they're, to get a babysitter to then go to the casino is, suddenly you've got that added expense. It makes it really difficult. Babysitters aren't cheap, man.
Probably not in LA.
No, 5-figure pot over on Peroni. Venividi betting 3,700, so he bets half pot on the ace of clubs turn.
I like this bet from Venividi. He's not going Queen 10 or bluffs, which certainly I think is the better strategy here. We don't want to over-polarize ourselves on the ace, especially when it's a reasonable card for our range.
All in for Venividi, 27,000 in there. It's 12-6 to call. There's the call. Venividi had the Queen 10. Phil Galfond with a set, I believe. I thought it was a set of deuces.
Set of deuces with the Queen 10 blocker and the King's blocker.
Galfond at one point was up about 4 buy-ins or 80,000. Currently up probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 36,000.
Yeah, that couldn't have been a good sight to see that. Why does somebody have to put it under the bed? That doesn't make any sense. There's bins all around hotel rooms, you know.
Right? Yeah. Just man.
That's nasty. I've got to be honest.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about it here. No doubt about it whatsoever. 7,000 euro pot over on Two Hearted Ale.
Phil coming in for a pot size in the river. Polarizing his range, which is fine. Again, there is some 8-6 in there. Or maybe that can go for a block. Takes down the pot with the second nuts, I believe. Wouldn't be the second nut, sorry, because it's still 10s and 7s. Fourth nuts. Owain, Hawkeye Daniel's got a question here. Owain, do you think AI will ruin online poker of all forms in the near future? No, it will, but not the near future. Scott Munro, Yeg.
Are you? By the way, are you commentating outside in the rain?
No, I mean it's just hammering down here. I apologize, guys.
No, it's just funny. It's funny. It literally sounds like you're on your front patio.
No, it's just
on a
so
laptop commentating while the rain is just pouring around you.
Like down in Alabama, what's the film?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I kind of imagine
out in the front.
Yeah, I imagine you're just some old dude sitting kicking it back on a porch in the southeast, in Alabama.
Yeah.
You got your laptop, it's pouring down. Couple of decent sized pots here. Peroni, we got a 12-7 developing. Flush card comes, board pairs, 5,400 over to Galfond.
Interesting bet size chosen here by Venividi.
There's the call. Pot is now 18-1. 6 of clubs on the river. Doesn't look to change anything. We already had the board paired. We already had hearts. Big pot.
I think Venividi would have a...
He just moved all in.
Would have a 2-bet value range for his flushes here and just check on the river.
Pot size bet on the river. There's 36,000 in there. Action back over to Galfond. Yeah, I got to tell you, the background of the stream and everything is just making me want to go to the bathroom. I'm like, man, I got to pee.
That's too many beers, man. But too many coffees. I thought
there's the call.
It's a
flush over full house. Sorry, full house over flush, right?
Venividi making the improved full house on the river, full house on the turn, improved full house on the river. And
yeah, it's kind of funny. I thought that the 6 didn't change anything. It didn't really change anything as he already had a full house.
But then, if he was chopping against Queen 5, which obviously is there's a low chance of that, he now improves to beating Queen 5. So the real
another big pot. Sorry, continuing on here. River bet of 3,600 by Galfond and a raise to 14-4. 11,000 back over to Galfond. Board is paired. No flushes out there. Galfond in the tank. 21,500 in the pot. He does make the call. Trip threes, it looked like. Did he call him with threes? Yeah, there's no doubt, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So Venividi, during this, the challenge negotiations and so forth, Veni really wanted to play Phil first. And I think that was probably a smart decision by Venividi to kind of get Phil before Phil is back in like pure playing poker mode, you know?
Yeah. Back in his flow, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. 3-bet pot over on Peroni. A raise by Venividi. Suddenly we have a 14,000 pot on Peroni. Jack 6-3, 2 clubs. There's the all-in. There's the call. Flush draw with the king versus a set of jacks, full house. Jacks full for Phil Galfond. You can make some money on poker, which gives you the ability to kind of pursue your passion, another passion, whatever that might be. You know, if you're working in a job that you absolutely hate, you know, maybe poker gives you the ability to kind of switch jobs or go back to school or try something else, whatever it might be. Huge pot here on a pretty wet board. 7-3-5, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 14,500 euros in there. Venividi betting pot on the turn. Galfond not continuing. And Veni really picking up some steam over on the two-hearted ale table. And I imagine this will be over momentarily. Galfond still in the green.
Live sync for a lot longer, yes. To reply to Ace and Oak.
Another 5-figure pot. The Peroni table. 8 of diamonds on the turn. Galfond betting pot. Action on Venividi. He's going to raise. This could be the last huge pot of the day.
This is
There's
defining.
The all-in. Set of sevens versus the flush. Veni gets there.
Oh, wow.
Galfond with the set. That is really so painful.
Mention 444. I've no clue who this commentator is, but I love your voice, love your alcohol problem. I think you're a effing sympathetic and nice guy. Your stories remind me of me and my buddies. Whenever I meet you in person, your beers on me, buddy. Lovely to hear that. I would gratefully accept a beer off you. And I do try to be sympathetic and empathetic underneath the whole bad guy exterior of drinking and twatting around. So thank you, Mention 444. Much appreciated. Okay, that seems like it's wrapping up now with Phil ending up a buy-in up for the day. So the Splash of Cash Friday is going to go ahead because he's in the green. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. And yeah, I've enjoyed you. I've really liked the positive feedback, you know. So thanks very much for that, guys. And I hope to see you all again soon. All the best.